All right, it's time for the VooDoo Chef podcast, where we will discuss all things voodoo from the VooDoo Studios located right here in beautiful Tampa, Florida. So to all my booties out there, if you're looking for nothing but a good time, this is the place to be. Call your friends, knock on the neighbor's door, and let them know it's time to party like a rock star for the next hour. Join me and my guests and learn to VooDoo like we do as we discuss our faves and the voodoo that we use. I'll put our guests on the spot as we ask for their top 3, and make sure and listen as we discuss some of our favorite war stories from the kitchens we've worked in. Sit back, grab a tall glass of your favorite libation, and enjoy this episode of the VooDoo Chef podcast.
What's going on, booties? Hey, thanks for coming to Booties Unite here. Let's see if I can work these cameras how I like them better. There we go. Hey, thanks for checking in. And tonight we're going to be making some cool stuff. But we're like using stuff that I just kind of dug out the refrigerator. So we're like throwing something together using a whole bunch of little pieces of things that I had from meals previous. So before we get into that, let me give a big shout out to my boy Kendall Dukes and my main man, Darren Balch, officially a Jack Daniel's Squire. And big shout out to you guys for nominating me. And, last night on the podcast, I was talking with a cat named Mo. He also is a Jack Daniel's Squire. I just got informed this past week that I'd been accepted in. And he comes and tells me that it's supposed to be like a secret. So I might be out tomorrow. I don't know. Who knows? But big shout out to my boys over there at Brown Foreman Jack Daniels. We all know it's my drink of choice. And thanks for allowing me to be part of such a cool group of guys who are enthusiasts as I am. All right, let me show you what we got going. We got a sky camera tonight. Hey, Flame Boss February may be over. We're back indoors, but we've got a big giveaway. We never gave away the Flame Boss pack, the Flame Boss Voodoo pack. Look for that on our Instagram account, at VooDoo Chef 13 on Instagram. Look for it. All you have to do is follow the rules on the post, and you could be eligible to win. It's almost like a $400 gift pack. So keep a lookout for that. We are going to announce the winner on March 15th. In honor of St. Patty's Day. The same night we'll be doing Big Eddie C's Drunken Spelling Bee. If you'd like to be part of the VooDoo Chef's Big Eddie C Drunken Spelling Bee, simply send us a message, hit us, tag us, add us, slash us, whatever it is you do, and we'll get you signed up. All right, guys, if you're out there, make sure you hit that chat bar. Let us know where you're checking in from, what you're drinking tonight. What you're cooking, what you got going on. We love to hear you guys checking in. And let's get started. I don't really want to do many dishes tonight. We're using one cast iron skillet. Just the one. It's a little hot. I've got it here conditioning. It's already getting warm because I want to get this started and eat some dinner. I got my induction cooktop going. And here's what we got, all right? Started digging around. I got some sliced onions from when we did burgers. We all know nachos is a staple in my house. We've got some pico de gallo. Always have lime. We had some Fat Boy grits. So to get ready for tonight, we took the Fat Boy grits. We used a basic breading station. We put the Fat Boy grits. Every time we eat grits, if there's any left over, we pan them up. You can pour them in a hotel pan just like this. Real simple. Take them out, cut them into squares. You don't have to be perfect, guys. Look at that. We took the Fat Boy grits, refrigerated them. They congeal up. They get real hard. We used a basic breading station and breaded these down with panko. We put a little bit of voodoo dust in the panko breadcrumb, and that's all they need. So we got the Fat Boy grit cakes. And then couple weeks ago, we did a belly. I had a couple pieces left over. I threw them in a backpack. You know, we have a vacuum machine. Cut the pork belly down, put it in the vac machine, sucked out all the air, threw it in the freezer, pulled it out tonight. I dropped it in my circulator, which is just out of view, and they've been in the circulator so that I don't have to do much work tonight. So 1 pot, pork belly, grit cake. Let's get started. I'm going to turn this camera here. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat, but let's see what we got going here, all right? Over here, I got my cast iron. Guys, 1 cast iron tonight. I'm going to get some oil in here. And first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get a hot sear on my onions. We're not going to caramelize these, but I do want to get a nice hot char on them, just real fast. I want to keep that acidity that the onions have, and I want to try to keep a little bit of the texture there. So we don't want to wilt them all the way down. I just want to get a hard char on them. I don't know if you guys can see. The oil's hit its smoke point. It's starting to smoke. So here we go. I know you can hear it. But remember, that cools the pan down real quick. Also, as they're cooking, the onions are releasing that moisture, so they're starting to steam. And that's not what we want. Do we want to stick our hand in the hot pan like we're doing? Probably not a wise thing either. All right, while that's going, we're going to turn around to the other side. Going to get a little VooDoo zing. Remember, we use this for our BRE. We're cooking live, guys. I don't know if you hear them. Somebody's going crazy. They want some of the onions. That's what it is. All right, here we go. Just a nice char on this, just to get them a little bit worked up. And I'm going to pull this right back out. Right back into my same bowl, trying to minimize the dishes I'm doing. And we set this aside. All right, I'm going to set this over here, right out of view. Now, it's time for the belly. So I've got my circulating cooker over here. I use an Innova. You can use whatever you want. Here it is in the bag. Yes, this is hot. We've had it going at about 165 degrees. I say about. It's been going at 165 degrees for 3 hours. And we want to just get a nice hard sear on this. So let me grab my Rhineland here. We're going to cut this bag open. Make sure our induction cooktop safety mechanism, it turns off whenever you pull the pan out. Look at that pork. Look at that. Here we go. There's one. And here's number 2. Now, we already had this on the smoker. We already got some good flavor on it. Heavy smoke. We used mesquite, I think, when we did this one. We took it up to temp. So now what we're doing is we're just simply getting that nice hard sear on the outside. It's like popcorn, right? That's that fat. All right, we're going to do all 6 sides on here. And remember, it's fully cooked, so we're just going for that hard char. And when you get an end cut like this, it's a little rounded. You just kind of work around it and let it do its thing. I crank the heat up super high, and we're almost at a point where we're good to go. You can see this thing getting a little sear on the outside. Look at that right there. Zoom in on that madness right there. Holy cow. All right. We're popping and banging here, so going to get a nice push on this. Let this get up. Again, if you're just checking in, go ahead and type in that box. Let us know where you're checking in from, what you're drinking, what you're watching. And here we go. Again, I don't want to use more than one pot, so I'm just going to go ahead and drop some of my Crisco right into this same pan. We're going to let that rock and roll, melt down. While it does, let me tell you a little bit about the pork. We marinated that for, I think, 2 days in VooDoo Chef mojo. Then we took it out, we rubbed it with magic, and we smoked it with mesquite. We also we didn't put magic on it. See there, it's all coming back to me. We put red on the outside. That mojo and red go real nice together. And that's what we put on the outside. We hit that smoke for about 3 hours, and then we put a little shine on there with some jack honey and agave, mixed them together, sprayed it about every 15 minutes for that last hour. And again, we had a couple pieces left over. We sous vide them, put them in the circulating cooker, the Innova, and then just did them up. Put a quick sear on them, and now we're ready for the Fat Boy cakes. Almost. We want to make sure that oil is good and hot so when it hits, it sears. Fat Boy cakes, basic 4-to-1 ratio on the liquid to grit like normal, but we add different things. We use water and half and half. We also have bacon fat, Worcestershire, Crystal hot sauce, and Swiss cheese, rocking out the grits. And I don't know if you can see that. I wish you could hear that. We're going to cook these golden brown. And then we'll be ready to go. All right, here we go. All right, while those are going, guys, let me get some gloves on, and we're going to get ready because it's time. All right, so let's grab our belly and just go ahead and get some nice slices out of this stuff. I'm going to switch to the slicing knife, my Rhineland slicer. And I know you're loving looking at those grit cakes cooked, but just take a look at that beautiful, beautiful belly. hot, guys. And guys, that quick, we're ready to rock and roll. We're going to turn this off. Grab us a nice plate. Going to put a nice portion of my pico right here. Little Fat Boy grit cake. And let's take some belly. Right down there. Dun, dun. And then some of my onions, because I want them in there. They're so good. And then here it is, just a nice hit with the lime. One last thing, guys. VooDoo Chef Smokehouse. Got a nice Fat Boy grit cake. Let's see if we can get around this fucking measure. Little Fat Boy grit cake, pico de gallo, seared pork belly, some onions, finished with some lime. Homies, I hope you enjoy hanging out. I enjoy hanging out every week. Thanks for hitting us up at Voodies Unite. Make sure you check out the VooDoo Chef podcast every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. If you missed it last night, we had a cat named Mo from the Cat Named Mo Show, 102.5 on the podcast. Had a great time hanging out, chatting with Maurice. And we got the Big Eddie C Drunken Spelling Bee coming up. Don't miss a single episode, guys. Hey, VooDooChef.com for all your VooDoo Chef seasoning needs. Till next time, man. Peace.